A mission in space leads to dire consequences for an astronaut and his wife as he transforms into something completely different. A man named Spencer Armstrong is an astronaut at NASA and is set to go on a mission to space. His wife, Jillian, who is a second-grade teacher, tells her she misses him when he goes off, and he reciprocates that feeling. The two share an intimate moment before Spencer's flight. The flight takes off, and during one of Jillian's lessons with her class, she receives a phone call from Spencer from the orbit of the Earth through NASA communication. Spencer decides to act a little naughty and asks Jillian what she's wearing, but is told by the communicator that 300 people are listening. He then asks Jillian to smile up at the sky at him, and she tells him she already is. Jillian speaks with her sister Nan about the call, and Nan tells Jillian she's hit the jackpot. While cooking food and cutting vegetables, Jillian notices a broadcast on the television about the ship her husband Spencer and another crew member Alex Streck, and tries to find a channel to find out what happened. The doorbell rings and she's introduced to Sherman Reese, who asks her to come along with him to where her husband is. Jillian insists on knowing what has happened to her husband and if he's dead, but Sherman claims he doesn't know anything. Jillian agrees to go along with Sherman if he can take her to the person who knows what happened. Back at NASA's station, Jillian hugs the wife of Alex Streck, Natalie. Natalie believes that their husbands are dead. Eventually, the two women are informed that their husbands are alive and that the team is working to bring them back down. Jillian asks what happened to them and is informed that the two men were performing repairs on a satellite outside the orbiter and were injured by an explosion. The agent also informs them that they had lost contact with their husbands for 2 minutes because after the explosion, they had drifted behind the shuttle and the agents had to retrieve them by bringing the craft 180 degrees. The two women embrace while Natalie cries in Jillian's arms. Sherman shows them a view from the shuttle as the two men land, hoping it would give them some peace. They watch as the shuttle lands down on the ground and feel relieved. Jillian is informed by the doctors that her husband is good, and it does not look as if he has any brain damage. Inquiring about Alex Streck, she learns that Alex had a tremendous strain on his heart because of the trip. Spencer regains consciousness and calls out for Jillian, who is by his side in an instant. Jillian kisses Spencer, who inquires where Alex is and if he's all right. But Jillian doesn't respond to Spencer, unsure of what to say. Meanwhile, Natalie is with her husband, who calls out to Spencer, asking him what it was that they just saw. Alex begins having a stroke, and a team of doctors rush in to calm him and give him an electrical cardioversion when his heart fails. Alex survives, but Spencer notices the medical emergency that Alex just had and is distraught and led outside by Jillian while Natalie stays with Alex. Jillian has a conversation with Spencer where he claims that he was sassy with the president, but later admits that he had thanked him for the call. Spencer jokes about his conversation with the president, stating he asked him what he was wearing, to which the president had made a strange noise and hung up. Natalie asks Jillian if Spencer ever talked about what happened up there, and Jillian avoids the question, to which Natalie states that Alex doesn't talk about it either. Natalie believes that the two men saw something up there that they refused to speak about to their wives. Spencer informs Jillian that he's leaving the force and settling for a job as an executive at an aerospace firm, which has a higher pay. He claims that he wants to take the position because he's a true American hero, and having a hero's face on a big company letterhead is good for business. He also tells her that the company's headquarters is in New York City. Jillian is hesitant to agree to move to New York because of the life that they currently have, but agrees because Spencer has always been there for her, and she wants to be there for him. Jillian is given a card by her students at a small leaving party, telling her that they'll miss her. The children are asking her all kinds of questions, but one child, Kelvin, is asking her about her husband encountering aliens in space and tells her that if he was encountered by aliens, he would fight them with laser guns. She smiles and tells Kelvin that she'll miss him the most as the kids around them laugh. Jillian and Spencer are at a farewell party for the Armacausts, and the people are having a great time with karaoke and dancing. Jillian notices Alex acting aggressive to Natalie through the crowd of people and is highly concerned. She notices Alex aggressively kissing Natalie at their table, who shoves him off and he flings off the glasses from the table. He calls out for Spencer, and Jillian notices he has bloodshot eyes and a bleeding mouth. However, when he comes in front of Jillian, he suffers a stroke during the party. People crowd around Alex, who has died, and a speech is given in a public meeting by the agent who explains the reason for Alex's death. At the funeral for Alex, Jillian embraces her sister Nan, who informs her that Natalie has been looking for her, and Jillian goes to see Natalie. Natalie tells Jillian that Alex had been talked to by an unknown species every night through a nearby radio, and that the species was now hiding inside her. Jillian goes back out to the funeral, listening to Sherman asking Spencer to get tested, but drops a glass when she notices an electrical surge flowing through the house and screams coming from the bathroom. She rushes there, only to find a girl screaming at the sight of Natalie, who is in the bathtub of water with the radio she showed Jillian before. Jillian is embraced by Spencer, who comforts her as she mourns the loss of her friend Natalie. Jillian and Spencer attend a party in New York, where Spencer is speaking to a group of men about space travels. Jillian is roaming around with a woman who judges her for teaching second grade. She meets another woman named Shelley McLaren, who comforts her about the woman she met before, saying that her weight loss had made her something less of a human. Shelley appreciates Jillian's genuine laugh and compliments her on it, which Jillian appreciates. Shelley must leave because of a minor disaster in the kitchen, but promises Jillian that they will hang out together soon. Jillian speaks with Spencer, who kisses her forehead and discreetly checks her heartbeat. She asks Spencer to tell her what happened at their mission, and he takes her to a nearby corridor. He tells her vague details about the 2 minutes without communication, including the fact that it was dark, there was no communication, and states that there was loud nothing surrounding the two. While he's speaking to Jillian, he also starts undressing her, and the two have intense aggressive sex, once in the corridor and once back home. Jillian tries to stop Spencer, but he continues even when she says his name in fear, and Jillian passes out from the aggressive acts that Spencer carried out. Jillian wakes up in her bed in the middle of the night and feels the pain from before, which confuses her. She goes out the bedroom to see Spencer listening to a radio frequency, which he changes as soon as she enters the area, and he apologizes for being rough with her. Jillian is reading to her class, but is overwhelmed by the children stomping their feet. Jillian talks to Nan, who tells her she's acting like she did when their parents died, and if she feels terrible, then she should talk to someone. Jillian, suspecting pregnancy because of how ill she feels, takes a pregnancy test in school and it comes out positive. Jillian tells Spencer about her pregnancy, and they visit an ultrasound appointment together where they find out that they're having twins. Jillian tells the doctor that after her parents died, she hallucinated of people she loved dying, and that she was afraid, leading to the doctor comforting her and giving her the number of a support group of mothers who are having twins. Jillian has a session with the support group and hears their complaints about their partners not understanding the changes to their bodies. Jillian, at home, turns on the radio and dances to the music until Spencer sees her, and the two share an intimate moment. While Jillian is outside in a toy shop, she is approached by Sherman, who has been terminated from NASA for insisting something is wrong with Spencer. He warns her that something is different with Spencer, and she tries to leave in fear, wanting to believe he's crazy. Sherman then informs Jillian that when Natalie killed herself, she was 3 weeks pregnant. He says that something happened, and Jillian retorts that it was just an explosion, but he refutes her argument, saying that they're trained for these things, but their suits had recording devices that recorded their fear in those 2 moments, and he hands her the recorder. Jillian listens to the recording, which does show the fear the 2 men had, and destroys the recorder that Sherman gives her. Jillian calls Sherman to find out more about Natalie, and finds out that Natalie's autopsy showed she had been pregnant with twins. Sherman asks Jillian to meet in person because he has something he wants her to see. Jillian discreetly admits that Spencer forced himself on her, and Sherman asks to meet her immediately. When Jillian goes to meet Sherman, Spencer shows up and intercepts Sherman, taking him to get tested, as Sherman wanted once. Jillian reaches out for Sherman's briefcase, but it is grabbed by Spencer immediately. Jillian blames Nan for Spencer showing up, and Nan denies telling Spencer about anything that Jillian told her. Jillian tries to find Sherman in the Nesbitt Arms building, room 304 where he was staying, but is told that no one is responding from the room. She finds a key in her school locker to a self-storage locker sent to her by Sherman as a backup, in the New York storage unit 1049. She visits the unit and finds a VHS tape, and the lights in the unit go off. Jillian hurriedly escapes the unit and plays the tape at home, which shows Sherman telling her that there was a third voice on the recording. He plays the recording, and it's the voice of an alien who attacked the two during the 2 minutes and took over Spencer's body. Sherman believes that the alien wants to use her twins to pilot the McLaren plane, currently being designed, that disables warfare machinery. Jillian decides to have a medical abortion, and Shelley gives her the termination pills, which she tries to take, believing once the termination is complete, all of this would be over. Jillian is unable to take the pills but ends up in pain while Spencer catches her trying to take the pills and slaps her for trying to abort the twins. Spencer tries to get Jillian to talk about it and threatens her when Jillian falls down the stairs and becomes unconscious. Unfortunately, Jillian wakes up in the hospital with Spencer by her side, and Spencer tells her that the twins survived the fall. Spencer threatens Jillian to keep silent about what she tried to do to the twins, while Jillian cries out of fear. Nan visits Jillian, but Nan doesn't believe Jillian at first when she tells her that there is something wrong with Spencer and the twins. Jillian has a nightmare that Nan found Spencer with Sherman's bag and he kills her, and her body falls on the floor, with blood coming out of her ears. Jillian leaves the hospital on her own but is found by Spencer due to the connection he has with her through the twins. Jillian rushes back home and barricades the apartment door, rushing to the room where she dreamed Nan's body was and sees a flash of her body but finds nothing there. She turns on the taps in the kitchen and has flooded the floor by putting the radio in the skin and the extension cord plugged into a nearby wall by the time Spencer breaks into the apartment. She holds the ends of the cords in her hands and tells Spencer to stay away from her while she sits on a wooden stool facing him. Jillian notices the bloody hands Spencer has and knows that he's killed her sister, while she questions who he is anymore and that she doesn't know him anymore. Jillian tells him he killed her sister and her husband, and Spencer admits that he did. And he lives inside of her now while water starts pouring from the ceiling due to Jillian turning on the taps in the upstairs bathrooms. When Spencer starts using his power to pull Jillian closer through the twins in her stomach, she lifts her feet up off the ground and plugs in the ends of the cords. Spencer is electrocuted, but the alien goes inside Jillian now as she screams in pain. Jillian's twins are all grown up, on their way to their first day of school, while Jillian tells her new partner, the twins' stepfather, who is a pilot, that he is now their father and embraces him. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.